Jack Thunder and the Fragments of Anima, Book 7, Null. Chapter 5, The Labyrinth. Buckthorn gaped at the scorched land. She never thought it would be this bad. It was just as ravaged as the tales had described it, a barren expanse of gray rock, dotted periodically with dead trees. Even the sky above them betrayed no hope or cheer. Colorless smog blocked out the sun, casting the entire landscape in muted shade. No wonder the Heart of Darkness wanted to make its appearance here. This place was the perfect base for its evil machinations. Reluctantly, the 9 of them went on their way. Their sights were set on the volcano in the distance. Even from here, Buckthorn could see clouds of black smoke swirling around it, growing and spreading across the horizon. Only a few more hours and they would blanket the entire sky, and not just in World's End. A sudden earthquake interrupted Buckthorn's thoughts. Through the chaos, Buckthorn fell to her knees as she and her friend's first challenge presented itself. Without warning, tall slabs of rock thrust themselves out of the ground between the 6 heroes. The stony barriers curled and twisted around, making a maze of sorts. By the time the shaking stopped, Buckthorn found herself alone. "Guys, is everyone okay?" Jack Thunder's voice shouted from beside her. Yeah, I think so," Shadowpaws answered. "Still standing," Kirami and Snotter yelled together. "Yep," Saturn responded. "How about you, Buckthorn, are you alright?" Jack Thunder asked. Just got separated is all." "Good. Everyone's okay. It looks like we'll just have to go through this maze here and meet each other as soon as we can," Frosty's voice emerged from the chorus. Buckthorn saw San take to the skies above her. "San's going to try and guide us through. If you get lost, just follow his lead. I'll see you all later," Frosty instructed the crew. Buckthorn could only hear shouts of affirmation and footsteps tramping away before silence reigned once more. "All right. Follow Mr. San's lead." Buckthorn stood up and made her way forward, following the twists and turns of the path before her. The sea stone around her neck glimmered with caution. Saturn skipped through the winding tunnel he found himself in. He may have hit a roadblock, but that wasn't going to slow him down. No, sir. He briefly stopped to readjust the goggles sitting atop his feathered head. This was nothing. It didn't matter to him that he was in the bleakest place in Alterus. He'd survived his wing getting broken in a trap. Not much could faze him at this point. "You're annoying." Saturn didn't even notice the out-of-place thought running through his head. He met a fork in the road. "All right, do I go left or right?" "They all think you're annoying." "Huh? What was that?" The Valkyrie stopped, turning his head to the side. "Must have been my imagination," he thought to himself as he chose the right path to head down. "Do you really think anyone wants to hear your little stories?" "What? Who are you?" "You saw how Shadowpaws was when you told him about how you broke your wing. He was about ready to throw up." Saturn froze. "They don't want you around. They just want to use you for Excalibur. You haven't even been with them that long." "That's not true. I was with them for months." "You were the last addition to their team. The snail girl didn't seem too happy when she first met you, did she?" Saturn took a deep breath. "Snotter just didn't know me yet. We're becoming great friends." Back in the flip side, the Heart of Darkness flipped through Saturn's memories, trying to find something to use against the Valkyrie. But it couldn't find anything with all the junk cluttering up Saturn's mind. Just catalog after catalog full of useless information. Seriously, who had the time to memorize the dates that every single trinket and bauble in the Arutopia Museum of Archaeology were found, let alone where he found them? Along with the entire compiled history of the Harpy Temple in the Foreboding Forest? With references? The Heart of Darkness grunted in frustration. It wasn't getting anywhere with this feather brain. It fled Saturn's mind in search of easier prey. Voice? Strange voice? Saturn called out in his head. For some reason it had mysteriously disappeared. He turned around, spotting San in the sky above. Without further hesitation, he followed the Tengu's trail through the labyrinth. Kirami sheathed the Yuki to her side. She turned her head upwards, trying to catch San in his path. The Kitsune didn't know what to expect. She rotated her pointed ears, listening for any wendigos that might try to catch her off guard. But she couldn't hear anything, nor did the world around her darken or grow cold as it did back on Mount Inferno and in the Grotto of the Young. It wasn't an ambush Kirami should have been worried about. Do I go right or straight? Right. Kirami obeyed. Soon she ran into a dead end. She peered up at the sky once more. Ugh, if only I could see where San was going. I think I've just been going in circles for an hour. Maybe it's back and left. The strange voice in her head spoke again. Back and left? But that just leads me back to where I was. Instead of left, Kirami turned right. Alright, where am I now? She felt her brain fogging up as she tried to get a sense of where she was. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just get out of here? You're not getting any closer to the others, dear. You're running out of time. That voice sounded suspicious. Kirami drew her sword. I can get you out of here if you want. You just have to follow my lead. It was a convincing offer. Anything to get out of this maze and back to the others as soon as she could. But could Kirami really trust this strange voice? Wait a minute, Kirami thought. The voice was wrong the first time. Following its direction led her to a dead end, and there were no wendigos anywhere in the maze. She fit the pieces together. The Heart of Darkness didn't need its armies. It was using other tactics. If she followed its instructions, she would get lost in the maze, just as it wanted. Kirami sheathed the Yuki once more. She continued through the labyrinth, but each time the voice spoke, she took the opposite direction it told her. The voice grew louder in her head as its frustration mounted, until it finally bellowed, "Can't you do anything right?" Kirami jumped out of her fox hide. She grasped her face with her paws, trying to stave off a headache. Do you want to see your friends again or not? You're going to cost them this whole world if you don't do what I say. Don't count on it. I know what you're doing. You're trying to leave me off course. You're off course because of you. I was only trying to help. Kirami snarled. I doubt that. Really? And how do you know? As Kirami stared at the ground, she spotted something flutter down from the sky above. She caught it with her paw and inspected it. It was a tarry brown feather, San's feather. She stood up, waving the feather in her invisible rival's face. Because of this, what have you got to say? No answer. Kirami huffed. She stuck the loose feather behind her ear before continuing on.